Folks, God bless you. Love to everybody out there. It's good to be with you. My name's Jason. I'm from Oldham, Manchester, and been a street preacher, evangelist in UK for many years. I've been a missionary, or I am a missionary in Africa, although I am in UK at the moment. Um, so I want to just say a few things about Tommy Robinson's incarceration, but before I do, I want to just read a Bible verse and just tell a little story. It says, Romans 1, verse 16, it says, "For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek." The gospel. What is the gospel? The gospel is that Christ died for us on a cross. He gave his life for us. He shed his blood for us. And we can't get into heaven by religion. We have to get to have faith in Christ. It's kind of a story of the Argyle soldiers. They were captured by the Japanese. And when they were captured by um, the Japanese said, someone's stolen a spade. And if you don't tell us, we'll kill you all. So the sergeant of the Argyle soldiers stepped forward and said, "I've stolen the spade." And the Japanese grabbed their bayonets and killed the guy, killed the sergeant, just murdered him there on the spot. Within seconds, they just looked round and they saw the spade next to a tree. The Argyle soldier had not stolen the spade. It was there all along. He stepped forward and said, "I stole it so that his mates wouldn't get killed." And we're under the judgment of God if we break his commandments. But Christ stepped forward and said, "I'll take the blow for them. I'll take the blow for them." And he took the blow for you and me when he was on the cross. He took that punishment that you and I deserved. And if we confess and believe he's the Savior, we'll be saved. So all I'm about to say, the ultimate answer to your problem and needs right now, is to have a living relationship with Jesus Christ, is to put your faith in him. I would encourage you to read the life of John Bunyan, to read his book Pilgrim's Progress, and take it from there. Okay, I want to talk about this issue with Tommy Robinson. The latest news is that they're continuing to mess Tommy about in prison, pretending to give him his the benefits of of being a prisoner. You have certain benefits, and so on a couple of days before he goes to court, they give him a benefit, and then they write that down and say, "Oh, we've been looking after him okay," when in reality they haven't been given his various benefits that he has. That you get opportunities to socialize, you get opportunity to have a few goodies and things like that, and they've not been duly coming and giving him the things that he should be getting as a prisoner. What I want to say is this. I want to say this to any MPs, to any journalists, to anybody out there. I believe strongly that if anybody attacks your free speech, I'm there to I'll be there to protect it. I'll be there to defend it. And I just want to say that when a political group or a society or a group of people begin to stop other people from having their free speech, then when there's no communication between two groups, those groups separate, they become embittered, then they demonize each other, then you end up having serious conflict. You think of Rwanda. In Rwanda, um, you began to hear language like this. They were calling each other cockroaches. And look what happened there, the disaster that what happened in Rwanda. Um, Whenever you demonize your fellow human beings to such an extent that you don't see them as human and you don't allow them to have verbalize their views, then that will result in more conflict, more bitterness, and it will flare up into violence. And the other thing is that in a free society, your views cannot stand unless you can argue your case, unless you can present your case. And if you can't present your case, then your position is not worth having. And what tends to what tends to happen is today is the globalist and the far left, rather than engage in debate, rather than engage in discussion, instead demonize their opponents to such an extent that they would rather deplatform them. They would rather call them Nazis or call them far right, and then not allow them to have free speech by deplatforming them, by taking their bank accounts away. We've seen this in Canada. They tried it to do with Nigel Farage. Um, they get people arrested if they mention something on Facebook. They use lawfare. They use social media fair where they track you on social media and then they report you to the police and get you arrested. They and the government also are involved in that, and the government um, will quite happily put you in prison if you are an opponent of them. We've seen that with Alex Belfield. I mean, Alex Belfield should not be in prison at this time. He upset one of the boys. He upset a journalist, and he paid the price just because he had a big disagreement with a particular journalist. Um, the journalist was one of the boys, they put Alex Belfield in prison. So whatever you think of Tommy Robinson, he doesn't deserve to be demonized the way people demonize him. He doesn't deserve the treatment that he's being having in prison right now. And he doesn't deserve the silence that a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are not willing to speak out because they're scared of losing their job. They're scared of of being deplatformed or losing their job or whatever, or being looked down on in their communities. And you know, when you get a society like that, where if you have a particular view, you're demonized to such an extent that you're scared to speak what you feel. And when you see certain injustices, things that are unjust, and you're scared to speak, that's telling you that the culture has become very pernicious and dangerous. And the British government, the establishment, have set up a scenario where they they have, what can I say? They've set up a scenario where there's an atmosphere of fear. So I was talking to two Scottish lads a few weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and they told me that people are scared to speak their mind in Scotland. And the British government and these various governments like in Scotland and places, they've made an example of people so that if you step forward and you speak out, then you know you're going to be next. You're going to be on the chopping block next. So they've created an atmosphere of fear. And the reason why they've done that is because they know they're losing the argument. They know that there could be an uprising and they want to quell it. But actually, it works against them because what you're doing is you're storing up frustration. People are getting frustrated and frustrated and frustrated, and it'll just blow up. It's better to let people have their say, to let people have their discourse and talk and discuss and debate, and then the best ideas will win. So this video is me saying to the British public today that me as a missionary, as a preacher, as a missionary, that I think that But our culture, British culture, is heading down this kind of path. Alexander Solzhenitsyn wrote this book, The Gulag of Archipelago, and in it he describes how people were snatched at night and no one said anything, how they were taken to camps, the atmosphere of fear where people couldn't speak their mind. And sad to say, British society has gone down is going down that path. And I'm just here to say, as a preacher, as a missionary, and as a British man, that the path that we've gone down is a dark path. And Tommy Robinson is, yes, Jason, that's what. Uh, thanks, Sally. Um, what can I say? When there was a when Peter Lynch and others were arrested, over 1,000 people were arrested during those riots, and I, I think the vast majority of those people that that were angry at the Southport killings, the vast majority were genuinely angry, and they had the facts. They knew what the situation was. They knew it was an Islamic situation. They knew that. The British government lied through their teeth and said it wasn't. People were genuinely upset and genuinely angry. And a lot of people, the vast majority of people, and the vast majority, thanks, Sally, the vast majority of people who came out at that time, they were not rioting. They were just angry. They were upset that those girls were killed and that it was something connected with Islam and immigration and things like that. They knew it instinctively, but the British government lied and covered it up. And the result of that was the British government, and Keir Starmer being a lawyer himself, he made over 1,000 people an example. Most of those people, if not all of those people, even those that may be guilty, who actually did do something, throw a something at the police or whatever, that every single one of those people that went to prison never had a fair trial. Not one had a fair trial because their trials were politicized and they were demonized before they even went into the court. Well, that's not a fair trial. And the judges that were doing it were party hacks. They were people that were doing the government's bidding rather than being independent judges. And so those 1,000 people that went in prison, they made them an example so that they could create an atmosphere of fear so that people wouldn't speak out. Yeah, they were demonstrating, not rioting. Big difference. And when there was some fighting here and there, which was very rare, you know, it's been shown that there were MI5 people within. This is not conspiracy. This is a fact. There were people in there trying to stir things up. There was actually people outside Parliament, elderly people, who were demonstrating, and the police waded into them with batons and arrested them. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. But the point what I want to get to is this, is that the government created an atmosphere of fear by throwing 1,000 people in prison without proper due process. And so Tommy Robinson, yeah, there was a fifth column. You should be a journalist, Sally. I think you'd be a good journalist. So now Tommy Robinson, people don't realize this, but with that 1,000 people that went in prison, and with Tommy Robinson, it's a watershed mark in British history. It's a Rubicon. It's a crossing of the Rubicon, where we all know that we've always been played by the elites. We all know that for generations. But the elites have crossed a line where they know they're losing the argument. They know they're losing control. And they've crossed the Rubicon where they've just ditched any form of democracy that was there. They've just ditched it by putting him in prison. By putting him in prison, that is not democracy. That is that is communism. It's totalitarianism. And you don't have a healthy society when you start doing that. That's what dictators do. Saddam Hussein, Saddam Hussein, and people like that. That's what dictators do. They put their political enemies in prison, and it doesn't bode well. It just doesn't bode well for British society. It doesn't bode well for our culture at all. The, I think what they're hoping to do with Tommy is to break him. If they killed him, it would make him a martyr and it would make the patriot movement stronger. If they actually killed him, if they actually took his life, it would make the patriot movement 10 times stronger. So they know they can't kill him. So the only way to take him out is to wear him down and break him. And then say, it's nothing to do with us, it's him, he's broken, he's had a nervous breakdown, he's out of the picture, it's nothing to do with us type of thing. But I don't think they'll ever break Tommy Robinson. And the other thing about Tommy, which you've got to give him credit, is whether you like him or not, he loves his country. I mean, the courage and the tenacity that he has for the love of Britain, for the love of his country, he is like an SAS soldier. He's indefatigable. He's like he just will not give in. He will not break. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to break him, and they've got him in there as a warning sign to say, any of you mess about, any of you overstep the line, and you'll be going to prison. But in the end, it can't last forever. In the end, there's going to be a break. Either they let him out, and if they let him out, the opposition is going to get stronger. If they keep him in, the Patriots are going to get stronger. If they let him out, the Patriots will get stronger. If they keep him in, the Patriots are going to get stronger. And if they kill him, the Patriots are going to get stronger. So whichever way they look at it, they're going to lose. And the reason why they're going to lose is because they're not willing to debate. They're not willing to debate. They're not willing to discuss. Why not let Tommy Robinson be out? Let him be a free man. Get your best intellectuals, get him on the BBC and debate him. And if you win, fine. If you don't win, then you don't win. That's the best way to deal with it. That's the best way to bring down the temperature. But instead, you know for a fact that you're losing the argument. You're losing the argument. And if you're losing the argument, this is what you're doing. And it's not going to go well for you as the establishment. It's just not going to go well for you as an establishment. In the end, it's going to blow up in your face. So it's better to let the man free and let him be debating and discussing, and you present your people who can debate and discuss him and debate him, and then see who's got the best arguments. But you know you're losing. You know you can't win that debate. You know you can't win that argument. So instead, you throw him in prison. Instead, you deplatform people. Instead, you you engage in lawfare. You engage in this behavior, and this behavior that you're engaging in, and it's been in America, you might as well take a sledgehammer and smash democracy to pieces, because that's what's going to happen, and that's what's happening. It's like a self-destruct button. It's like if we can't be in charge, nobody can charge. Let's just smash it all to the ground. That's what it seems to be. So this video is saying that I've always argued this, and I'll argue it till the day I die. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I don't care whether you're on the left or on your right. I don't care. Right? I welcome your freedom to debate and discuss. I encourage you to disagree with me and to debate me and to discuss and debate with anybody else. I don't care if you're far left. I'll debate you. I'll discuss with you. I'll talk with you. And I'll show you respect if you show me respect. And if you are not willing to, yeah, of course I'd visit him. Yeah, um, my I'll put my address in the private thing. If anybody wants to send my address to him, I can visit him. I can visit him as his chaplain. My auntie's made tea, so I've got to go and get some tea. Okay, coming in a second. I'll just be 1 second. Right, in private chats, it's I'll just put my address there. That's my address anyway. If anybody knows him, and Tommy sent me a VO, I would go and visit Tommy Robinson as his chaplain. No problem. So there's the address. So that's and the name is Jason Burns. Jason Burns. You can put Reverend in there, so I can be his chaplain. They can't stop me from visiting if he says I'm his chaplain. Yeah, she's made salmon. We're eating fresh, like really healthy food. You know what I had for breakfast this morning? Are you ready? Beetroot. My dad's eating beetroot. He looks a new man. He's 78 years of age. He's eating beetroot. He's eating carrots. He's eating broccoli. So I'm starting to do it as well. Listen, I gotta go. Tea's ready. Yeah, if anybody knows Tommy Robinson, my address is in private chat. Um, if he sends me a VO, I'll go and visit him as his chaplain, no problem, without question. I'll go and visit him, no problem. All right. So yeah, so my message today is debate and discuss. If you can't debate and discuss, sad to say, it's going to end in you're creating a Rwanda style situation where it's going to erupt eventually one day. It's as simple as that. And I would plead with the establishment, pull back. As is the establishment, you need to pull back. The tactics that you're using is not working. Engage and debate and discuss as an establishment and win your argument that way. If you can't, then it's time to pack up and go and let other people rule the country. If you can't debate and discuss, I'm saying debate and discuss. Let's hear your arguments. Best man win. That's what I'm saying. And if you can't do that as an establishment, you're not an establishment anymore. You're not fit to lead. And putting people in prison unjustly, like Tommy Robinson and 1,000 other people that you did, and trying to do it in America with Trump and all that, it's not going to work. That's my message, and I'm giving my support today to Tommy Robinson, verbally speaking out on his behalf that as a preacher, has been a Christian 30 years, as a preacher, as a missionary, I'm backing Tommy Robinson to have his freedom. You don't have to agree with him, but he doesn't deserve the kind of behaviour that the establishment are putting on this man. It's completely outrageous. All right, take care. God bless you. Got to go. Got to get my salmon and broccoli. All right, take care. God bless you. All right, Sally. God bless you and everybody else. Take care now. Bye. Bye.